So we're here with Andrei Szatkowski, who is the director up at Wire, but we're not really going to talk about Wire this morning as such. Well, what I want to do is focus on the neighbourhood action plans and the initiatives we've got there. So Andrei, we've been doing a lot of work around Regenda First, and everybody's been talking about telephone-based services and stuff like that. What does that mean for people up in the areas, in the neighbourhoods?
I think that's a very good point, Stuart, because the excitement has really been built around the new shared service centre. But to me, the most exciting thing that's fallen out of this is the work that we're now starting to do in our neighbourhoods with our neighbourhood teams. The whole principle of the Regenda First launch was about freeing up our staff to get them out there on the neighbourhoods doing the work that they really love doing.
So you talk about freeing them up and doing the work they really love doing. What sort of work is that?
Well, traditionally, housing officers have been very good at dealing with issues within our neighbourhoods, but in the last few years we're becoming more and more driven by systems, and we really took the opportunity to think about redesigning their job and utilising their skills about how best to serve the neighbourhoods in which they work. So a neighbourhood officer now, we're trying to gear them up to spend about 70% of their time out there on the patch, engaging with the communities in which they work about the issues that really matter to our customers.
So this is why presumably we've cut down some of the office hour times and stuff like that, because I mean, one criticism you could have of the organisation is, you know, the offices are shut, I can't get through to report my repairs and stuff like that. What would you say to that?
Well, that would be a fair comment from some of our customers, but when we designed the Regenda First systems, it was quite clear to us that our customers wanted to contact us by phone, and we put a heavy investment in the establishment of the shared service centre. Our local offices, as a result of that, have a reduced opening hours, but those opening hours are there to tailor to meet the needs of the communities in which we're working. So our neighbourhood officers are now out and about on the patch, able to meet customers in their own homes or provide local surgeries rather than the customer coming to us, a local office, where the whole service is about us going to the customer.
So you talked earlier then about this whole thing being a redesign of our service and going out into the neighbourhood. Isn't that a bit ad hoc and like, well, you know, a bit here and a bit piecemeal and stuff like that? Have we got an approach that can really sort of make a difference in the communities?
Well, that's where the initiative of our neighbourhood plans really comes into place, because what we've been able to do is sit down with our engaged partners, whether it's the local authority, the police and other agencies work with, but also local residents. Sit down with them and say, well, what do you really want to see us make a difference on in your neighbourhood? And those neighbourhood plans, they're at an early stage at the moment, but we have 13 of them across the group. Those are really identifying the key projects that we need to work on in those neighbourhoods to make our residents' lives a better place.
What sort of projects are they involved in?
Well, when you look at each of our neighbourhood plans, that's the great thing about them, that the issues that are affecting residents in Merseyside or in Cheshire or in Poulton or in Fleetwood are completely different. So no neighbourhood plan looks the same across the group, because the residents of Fleetwood may be concerned about fly tipping and antisocial behaviour. The residents of Cheshire may be concerned with regards to policing issues, or residents in Rochdale may have a particular concern over derelict land sites. So whatever the concerns that are being picked up by our local residents and our local housing teams are feeding through into those plans. So no two plans are the same, and that makes it a very exciting initiative.
Okay, you talked about having 13 neighbourhoods with these plans. Now, does that cover all of our stock, or is it just some people and some people are getting left out?
Well, the 13 plans that we have in place for this year covers approximately 30% of our stock, because what we didn't want to do is launch this initiative and say we can do everything for everybody. So we've very cleverly we've put a lot of time and effort into picking those 13 neighbourhood plan areas. However, by January of next year, we're launching another initiative on the back of that called our estate plans, and that will cover all of Regenda homes right across the northwest.
Even the ones who are sort of like maybe one or two homes with no other sort of Regenda properties around by them?
Absolutely. Where we've got stock in isolated rural areas, we're packaging those together, maybe to form a slightly bigger, what we would call estate plan, but we will still have a dedicated plan that once we've engaged with residents and find out what the issues are in those outlying rural areas, they will have their own plan of works.
And are we presumably getting this funding from hiking up the rents or something like that?
No, no, not at all. The rents are staying exactly as they are, but through the efficiencies that we've been able to introduce as part of the Regenda First launch, we've been able to provide each of the neighbourhood plans with a dedicated